welcome once again to Time Between Times storytelling. Nadolig Llawyn, Merry Christmas. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all for joining me at the live storytelling session I did the other night. It was great to see you all from around the world joining me at the Time Between Times. So here we are again. Christmas has passed us by. New Year is coming. It's a time for stories. So sit back, relax, and let me take you to a time long ago where tales were traditionally told and where you can enjoy them once more. Welcome, my friends, to the Time Between Times. The time when it is neither night nor day, but the sun has gone and the sky is grey. The time when the veil between our world and the fairy world grows wafer, wafer thin. So thin that for just a few moments we can reach into their realm, and for a few moments they can reach into ours. Now is the time that people see lights in the sky. Now is the time that people see fairies. Now is the time that people see ghosts. So forget about all your cares, all your worries. Sit back and enjoy a tale traditionally told. Join me at the fire pit, deep in the heart of the forest, where both the sun and the moon shine in the sky, and the veil between our world and the other world is almost transparent. Many, many years ago, in the Swansea Valley, a place so dark they say the sun only shines there an hour a day, there was an inn called the New Inn. Now the New Inn was never new. Its thatched roof was full of holes. Water ran down its damp walls. Its fire was barely lit. But it was there. All the vagabonds, the drunks, the rapscallions, the villains of the Swansea Valley would gather there to drink. And the landlady was called Rhian. Rhian had to put up with a lot. Rhian had lost her husband in a war against France 200 years ago and was left with an inn in the Swansea Valley. She had to make it work. And make it work she did, although every night she had to put up with all the bad sorts from all around. And this night was no exception. The barroom of the New Inn was full to brim. There was singing, there was dancing, there was drinking, and Rhian worked hard behind the bar, and there, sat at the bar with his head in a drink, was one of the worst villains the Swansea Valley had ever seen. His name was Lewsin Coch. He was a thief, he was a robber, he was a liar. He was from Ystrygynlais. His hair was bright red, and he sat drinking as he did every night. His bar bill would go on for months. He would swear, he would shout, and he talked like that. And this night was no exception. It was the time between times, the time when it was neither night nor day, but the sun had gone and the sky is grey, when suddenly the door to the bar opened and in ran one of the customers. "Can you hear it? Can you hear it outside, my friends?" "I can't hear anything," said Lewsin. The music died down, the voices went quiet, and everyone listened. Far away, it seemed like on the cusp of the sky, there came voices, solemn and sweet, singing what sounded like a hymn. The customers rushed to the window and opened the curtains and looked out. Beyond the New Inn there was a graveyard, and on the other side of the graveyard was an old oak and a thick blue pond. Around the old oak, lights were flashing in the dark night, translucent and green, shining in the night. They seemed to dance around, but singing an old hymn. The man who had rushed in said, "Look, look, it's a fairy funeral. The Tylwyth Teg are saying goodbye to one of their own. Close the curtains, said Rian. Close the door. Be silent all, and give them the respect that they are due. Swiftly the curtains were closed. Swiftly the door was shut. Swiftly the beer was drunk, and all stayed quiet in the inn. And then it came, loud across the wind, the songs of an unearthly funeral. But Lewsin Coch was in his cups. He had been there all night, and he did not like being told by anyone. He got up, filled the bucket that was kept for the horse trough, and walked to the back door. I don't care. I'm going out there. They're not stopping me from drinking. But Lewsin, you do not cross the Tylwyth Teg, said Rian. Give them respect. They are saying goodbye to one of their own. He pushed Rian aside and walked out the back door, sloshing the bucket as he went. He meandered through the graveyard. The mist was starting to fall. He could feel the cold wind blowing. And in the distance around the old oak, he could see the green lights. He rushed forward, carrying the bucket, jumped into the pond which separated the new inn from the old oak, and waded through. As he got closer, he began to see what was happening. There in front of the tree was a tiny coffin, no bigger than the hand of a man, and gathered round the coffin, dressed in their Sunday finery, were the Tylwyth Teg. Some were tall and thin, others short and fat. Some were winged, some were hunched. Some were as beautiful as the dawn, and others were uglier than a rock face. None took any notice as Lewsin got closer. He could feel his heart beating in his chest. He looked back at the new inn and saw some of the faces peering out to the window. He laughed and, picking up the bucket, tipped the water over the Tylwyth Teg. The lights went out immediately. The land was plunged into darkness as Lewsin waded his way back towards the new inn and back through the back door, laughing as he went. They will not bother us again, let me tell you. The day passed. The night came in. The next night, the same in the new inn, although there was a quiet, almost apprehensive atmosphere as the clients gathered again to drink. Rian stood behind the bar, and there, at the time between times, in walked Lewsin Coch once more. So have you had any more trouble from him? I don't think you have you? Lewsin, you do not bring the wrath of the Tylwyth Teg upon my inn. You are banished from here. I will not Suddenly, the song came again on the wind. There from the old oak, the hymn sounded once more. They don't get the message, do they? Said Lewsin. They don't get... Lewsin, please leave them. This time he stormed out the back door, and once again around the old oak the green lights flickered and danced. He made his way through the graves till he came to the pond and waded through once more, until he was but an arm's length from this funeral procession. The coffin again on the ground, the Tylwyth Teg in their Sunday finery, singing from small hymn sheets, the size of a fingernail. I've told you not to... Lewsin stopped as the leader of the Tylwyth Teg, his hat tall and black, raised a hand. Look at this, he said, and he opened the coffin in front of him. And there, lying inside, was a small figure, dead. But what made Lewsin's heart beat so fast, he felt it was burst from his chest. Was the small figure, was Lewsin Coch, dressed in the same clothes, the same bright hair, the same face, with his eyes closed. Lewsin screamed, his scream louder than any song the Tylwyth Teg ever said. He turned to face the new inn, and he could see the faces of the customers looking out the window at him once more. And then the green lights went out, and everything vanished. The next morning, as the sun came up once more, the time between times, the time when it is neither night nor day, but the sun had gone and the sky was grey. There was no sign of the Tylwyth Teg. Those lights were not seen again outside the new inn. But ever since that night, something strange was seen in the pond next to the old oak. It was said that when the moon shined high in the sky, the face of Lewsin Coch could be seen staring up from the water like a reflection, a look of terror upon his face, his arms pressed against the water. He was never seen alive in the Swansea Valley ever again. But even today, it is a brave man indeed who approaches the pond by the old oak. For that face has been seen to peer up from the water. Some say a prisoner under the water itself. Someone who dared cross the Tylwyth Teg. And that, my friends, is the tale of the Curse of Lewsin Coch. Diolch yn fawr. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining me, my friends. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to this channel. This can be a very lonely job. Sometimes I feel like I'm just talking to myself. But I hope you enjoy the tales. If you're feeling generous this Christmas, the Ko-fi address is below, kofi.com/Owen Staton. Please feel free to buy me a coffee. It is much appreciated. I also have some merchandise for sale, and I will put the address below. I have a podcast channel with new stories, different stories from this, called Time Between Times Storytelling. Please feel free to join me there for more tales at the Time Between Times. Happy New Year to you. I hope you all had a great Christmas. Diolch yn fawr for listening. Thank you for joining me. Take care. Nos da.